Why putting myself last cost me everything. Hello, and if you're new around here, my name is Misty. I'm your host, and I'm a health and life coach for women. I have been coaching women on regaining their energy, losing weight, and making themselves a priority since 2015. And I have been through burnout not once, but twice. First time I went through burnout, I didn't even know I was going through burnout. And then the second time, I recognized it, and there's just a whole lot of stuff I had very little control over, and I couldn't stop it because we were just way too deep in it. And I want to tell you today about why putting myself last cost me everything and the consequences that it cost. And I want to help you possibly avoid doing the same. So let me take you back to about 2017, 2018. I was running a coaching business, helping women lose weight, regain their energy, and helping them, basically design a life they didn't need a vacation from. That's been my motto for a really long time. However, I was surrounded by people, coaches, mentors, people on social media that were preaching the hustle culture, all about if you want more, do more. Have you ever heard that one? If you want more, do more. And it was just always about doing more. And it was this constant hustle. I was productive every single day. There was not a day that went by that I didn't have a massive to-do list that I absolutely crushed. And then in 2018, I had my third baby. And I started to make some shifts because I knew this third baby was really going to, make some changes to my life. Then once I had the third baby, we had the opportunity to take our business offline into the local market. And I loved the idea. I absolutely loved working from home, but we were in this state of where my husband was really wanting to come along with me, and it didn't look like his job with his family's business was going to be long term. So we had to start thinking about what we were going to do to replace his income. And this brick and mortar physical business seemed like the perfect way for him to transition from his family's business into our business. And it was a perfect segue to what I was already doing online. And we could transfer the messaging into helping people more locally. So this looked like pop-ups, a brick and mortar store where we were selling like smoothies and protein drinks and, energizing drinks. And then we were also hosting like workout classes, local weight loss challenges, and it was great. However, we had little to no help. And we weren't bringing enough money to really hire the help, and to have the help that we had weren't really making money. So the help we did have slowly started to transition, and they got other jobs so I started filling in and working all these extra hours. Meanwhile, I have 3 kids at home. I'm homeschooling 2 of the kids. I have a newborn. And I'm running, my husband works full time, so I pretty much run the whole house. So you can imagine me working 50 to 60 hours outside of the home, how much pressure that put on me. Because I was working, you hear a lot of business professionals talk about working in the business versus working on the business. And because I was working in the business, like the physical hours of serving customers, I really wasn't able to work on the business. I couldn't focus on the marketing plan. I couldn't focus on marketing correctly. I couldn't focus on getting more people in the store. I couldn't focus on making more money because all I could focus on was the day-to-day operations. And one of my favorite authors, and she also has a podcast. She's a business coach. She helps with manifesting money, and that's kind of like her thing. She talks about this in one of her books called The Chillpreneur. Denise Duffield Thomas. She has a book called The Chillpreneur, and she talks about this in one of the chapters. She says you need to protect the golden goose. And what that means is recognizing what is the main thing of your business. And if you are the main income driver in your business, you have to protect that at all costs. And she talks about like just delegating and self-care and recognizing if you are the golden goose, you have to protect the golden goose. And if you don't protect the golden goose, then you will slowly leak your energy, will slowly leak your money. So I highly recommend that book if you are a solopreneur, if you are a female entrepreneur, if you are a superwoman trying to do a lot of different things, wearing a lot of different hats, then I highly recommend that book, and where she talks about protecting the golden goose. And this is the trap that I fell into because I was trying to be everything to everyone. I couldn't do anything really, really well. As far as homeschooling my children, I was doing the bare minimum. My kids were little, so I felt like I could get away with certain things, like letting things go and only focusing on the most important things. So no, we were not doing school 8 hours a day because I just did not have the time to do that. And I want to talk about this today because so many of my clients and the women who come to me who are experiencing fatigue, they're in weight loss resistance. They've tried so many things to lose weight and they just can't. And this is so real, especially among women where we put ourselves last. We have so many hats. We're mothers, we're caregivers, we're taking care of our parents, we're taking care of the home. We have busy careers and possibly even have a side hustle. You're doing so many things, but you're taking care of yourself last, meaning you're the last one to eat. If you're getting a workout, it's at like 8:00 at night, right? And one of the things I talk about in my coaching programs is learning how to put yourself at the top of your to-do list, because amazing things happen when you put yourself first. You get your workout in first thing. You are prioritizing your meals and your sleep. All of a sudden, you have more energy to do a lot of the other things. Because as a society, we're expecting women to do more and more and more and more things. We're expected to work. We're expected to earn money. We're expected to take care of the kids. We're expected to be able to take care of our parents if needed. We're expected to take care of the house. We're expected to maintain all the doctor's appointments and all of the children's little tasks that seem to add up, and all the special dress up days. We have to keep all that in check, the calendars, and women's to-do lists are mounting to be more and more and more and more. And women are expected to be selfless. We're expected to be this nurturing feminine that takes care of everyone else. But if you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot take care of everyone else. And we do this because we don't want to be judged by others. We don't want to be seen as selfish, this people-pleasing. And a lot of times women are ridden with so much guilt that they can't take care of everything and everyone. And so we put our own needs onto the back burner just so we can get to everything else. However, there are many, many consequences of putting yourself last. Consequences like bitterness, resentment, burnout, it takes on an emotional toll. You could have depression, anxiety, feeling undervalued, and this bitterness and resentment builds up over time because you're taking care of everyone else. However, who is taking care of you? No one. Neglecting yourself also has physical consequences like fatigue, illness. You will be more prone to getting sick more often. You possibly have weight fluctuations, the stress levels. You could have sleep disturbances, like you're just not sleeping like you used to. This has a dramatic impact on your relationships because you could be tiptoeing into people pleasing, codependency, also emotional withdrawal. I talked about this in one of my last videos where if you are in a state of burnout, a lot of times you will start to say no to things like, different social activities that could be a release, helping you put yourself first, but it's like the low-hanging fruit of something has to go, and this impacts your personal relationships. You start to distance yourself from loved ones. You start to distance yourself from friends, and this did impact my marriage. You could have a decreased productivity or fulfillment. I know it sounds counterproductive, and I talked about this earlier where if you can learn how to put yourself first, sometimes you can be more productive, because if you are not feeling passionate about what you're doing and you're just kind of going through the motions, you lose inefficiencies. But if you're well rested and you are energized because you already got in your workout and you've already gotten a healthy breakfast, all of a sudden that frees up your mental space of you're feeling nurtured. So now you're able to pour into all these other things that you had that's on your to-do list, that you can pour more energy into those things. And the thing about this is this can create a snowball effect. So if you are in a state of constantly putting yourself last, this is like small, it doesn't happen overnight. It's just these small things just creep up, and all of a sudden you are in a daily habit of putting yourself last. You're in a daily habit of not getting in a workout. You're in a daily habit of eating 1 or 2 times a day and wondering why you have no energy. But that one time of skipping your workout so you can help out a friend slowly becomes a habit, and before you know it, it's been 2 or 3 years since you went to the gym. You may be in this habit in the middle, stuck in the middle somewhere. If you are feeling bitterness, resentment, you are in serious chronic fatigue, and you lack any kind of hobbies that you do for yourself. One of the common things I see among women that come to me when I ask them, well, what do you like to do in your free time? They're like, what is that? They can't even name a single hobby that they have, because they have been in a constant cycle of putting themselves last and putting everyone else first. They don't even remember what they used to like to do. There are a few things you can do that will start to break this cycle, and you can start to reclaim your time and energy back. And one of those things is setting boundaries, learning how to say no, learning to know what is your limit. I have a really strict bedtime. A lot of people, my kids even make fun of me for having a early bedtime. They're like, Mom, why do you go to bed so early? It's because I need my sleep, and I need to go to bed early because I like waking up early. I need to go to bed early, and I need to make sure I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep at night. And so it's important for you to know, like, what is it I'm needing right now, and learning how to make yourself a priority. Make that thing a priority. Like, if you know you've been eating fast food every day because you just don't have time to cook, like, okay, what is it that you need to put in place so that you can eat better? And maybe that's, you need to just purchase a meal prep kit. Maybe you need to hire somebody. Maybe you need to outsource that. Or maybe you just need to say no more so you have more time to cook at home. And one thing I love to say, self-care is not selfish. It's a necessity. It's absolutely essential. You learn how to put your own self-care and your own needs to the top of your to-do list, because no one else is going to do it for you. And I don't know what it is for you, but figuring out when and where you can carve out some personal space for yourself. For me, that's early in the mornings, before anyone else gets up. I get up, I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm looking at my, list of goals that I have for the week, the month, whatever, and I'm prioritizing myself. On Sundays, my kids go to their dad's house, and it's like the one day where I'm not working and I don't have kids around. So I know that is, as much as I would love to fill that up with work, Spirit has been guiding me over the past year that Sunday is a day of self-care. Even though that is a day I could just get a whole lot of stuff done. But no, that is a day for me to rest and recharge. And I go to the gym. I might do some meal prepping. I might just visit with a friend, or read a book. I do some yoga. I don't do a whole lot of work. And if I do work, it's just like brainstorming, just things that pop up in my head. It's not me physically sitting down at a computer. It's me just strategizing about how I can get closer to my own goals, and prioritizing myself, my passions, what it is that's going to refuel me. If you would like some more additional help, I do have a free PDF that will link in the comments or in the show notes, and you can grab that, and it gives a little bit more in-depth tips and tools on how to reclaim your energy, get back your energy. It goes through nutrition, movement, mindset, and some mindful techniques. Thank you for tuning into the show. If you love this, I would love it if you subscribed and leave me a comment if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast and you prefer to watch me on YouTube, I will leave the link in the show notes.